What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Andrew, and today I'm gonna do a packing video for you. If you've been following along, you'll know that we've been on the road for about 3 months now. We are headed out on a 4-month adventure. We're about 75% of the way done. And you might be wondering, what in the world did we pack for a trip this long? And how did we do it? How did we cover all the stuff? Did we forget anything? What have we learned along the way? So today I'm going to take you through everything that I've got in my suitcase and my carry-on and give you some tips and tricks that I learned along the way.
Hey there, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we're Holly and Andrew, and we're spending the next 90 days traveling around Europe with our dog Waffles. We release new episodes every Saturday, so make sure to subscribe to be the first to see our new videos.
If you enjoy this video, make sure you hit that like button below and hit subscribe if you're not already. If you find this helpful, make sure that you share it with your friends and family. And if you have any other tips or tricks you want to share, let us know below. All right, with that, let's get started. So as I said, I've got my suitcase and my carry-on. I'm gonna go through my suitcase first, and then we'll look at what we've got in my backpack. All right, so first up, we've got the away bag. Holly and I have been traveling with away bags for several years now. They're fantastic. They're super durable, super spacious. I don't think you can get more spacious than they are. They hold everything we need. And let's take a look at what's inside. So this might surprise you guys. The first thing I have is a pillow. Why would you bring a pillow? Everywhere you stay should have pillows. Well, it's because I use a memory foam pillow that I really like. It gives me the best sleep I've ever had. And I wanted to make sure I had it along for the ride. The cool thing is that this guy packs down. It is super compressible, and as soon as I open my suitcase, as you just saw, it puffs back up to the full size of a pillow real easily. So that's the first thing in my suitcase. And then we've got a day bag. So we go on a lot of adventures, and I have a tiny backpack that I carry a lot of essentials that we just want to have out on the go. This guy is One Trail. I think I got it for like 30 bucks on Amazon. It's lasted a very long time. It's got pockets in all the right places, a good clip, some side pouches for water bottles and miscellaneous things like poop bags if we've got Waffles with us, a front pouch, some extra slots and pen holders, and a pretty spacious main compartment so I can fit things like our drone in here, which is really good. And then along the back is almost a secret hidden compartment that you can put money or other valuables that are a little bit less obvious. So, day pack, that's another good one. Then moving deeper into the suitcase, I always travel with a pair of flip-flops. These are my North Face flip-flops. They're getting a little bit old, but they work, they do the trick, and they compact down nicely. Then I usually actually have this guy out, so it's not always in my suitcase, but a hoodie. It's essential for any kind of flights. If we're in cool weather or just a cool apartment, I like to have that with me. And my sleep shorts. So I sleep in a pair of Nike basketball shorts. Moving on, we've got the main essentials. So I like to pack my shirts on top of my puff jacket. This is a Patagonia puff jacket. Super versatile, super all-purpose. It's got the hood. This guy packs down pretty tightly too, so I can carry it in my day pack. And it works really well for everything except rain. Definitely keeps you warm, but it won't keep you dry. So for that, I have a very thin Columbia rain jacket. This guy also packs down quite nicely, but it serves a purpose for when it's a little rainy out. All right, moving on. I actually have something like 5 shirts here, 1 button down, and then in the other compartment I have more shirts. I've also got a bathing suit, that's an essential. I packed 3 pairs of shorts. So I started out this trip with 4, and I ended up sending 1 home with Holly's mom, who came to join us for a portion of the trip. I have 2 pairs of khaki tan shorts and 1 pair of the light. That has worked really well. I have a pair of khaki pants and a pair of jeans. So far, I don't think I've actually worn the khaki pants at all, so I probably could have done without them, but they're nice to have, especially if we do something more formal. They're a little bit nicer than jeans. The jeans must have, especially in colder climates or colder days, windy days. And then along the sides, I actually try to stuff my suitcase with shirts and pants, and then leave the sides open for things that kind of miscellaneous items. So I have a bunch of chargers here, and in this little guy, we've got the GoPro and some extra camera equipment. So as you know, we have a YouTube channel, which you are watching right now, and that requires a lot of extra gear. So I've got an SD card holder here with all of our SD cards. Basically just battery chargers, cords, things like that. We do have an Osmo Pocket by DJI. This is great for B-roll. And something we haven't used at all this trip, we used to use exclusively. This is Holly's GoPro 10. We brought it, this is waterproof. It's good for portability and getting in really cool action shots, but we haven't used it at all. We've basically just been filming on our Sony the whole time. But yeah, extra batteries, cords, the like, batteries for the Sony, and it packs really nicely, super compact in this tiny case, which my suitcase. I also highly recommend, pro tip, bringing some Walmart bags, just a couple. So I use this for things like sometimes if our bathing suit is still damp when we're packing up and heading to the next location, or if I have flip-flops that we were just on the beach and they're super sandy, no matter how much you bang them together, you can't get it out. This is good to kind of enclose those miscellaneous items. That's it for this side. This away bag does have the extra charging module. So this thing, underneath the handle, there's actually a battery, an external battery that you can use for phones, devices that charge via USB. We've taken those out because every time we go through security at the airport, they say, oh, that battery needs to be inside the bag, which doesn't make any sense at all because it's already inside the bag in the compartment, but whatever, that's for another video. So we just don't use it anymore. If you're gonna get an away bag, just skip the extra battery. The other cool thing that the away bags have is this tiny pack spot. So I have a couple of small items in this, including, this is essential, we have an Apple AirTag. So this guy goes with my luggage everywhere. And it's really easy to track on our phones. We can see where the luggage is at the terminal. We can see when it's about to arrive at the luggage pickup carousels. And if it ever gets lost, we'll be able to find it easier. A couple other miscellaneous tiny things. I've got some USBs. I've got a headphone adapter and a good luck duck. I don't know where I found this guy, but he's traveled with us forever. And that's it for this side of my suitcase. Moving on to the zipped side. This is a lot more clothes. So carrying on with the 5 t-shirts that I had here, I have, let's see, 6, 7, 8, and then I have a thermal. I'm just gonna pull out all the shirts and we'll go through what the rest of this is packed with. 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I have 16 shirts. I guess 2 of them are undershirts. A couple are different multi-purpose things like thermals and stuff. I definitely overpacked on this. I have way too many t-shirts. That said, we've been lucky and we've been able to do laundry in most of the locations that we've stayed at, so it hasn't been an issue getting clean clothes. I would say that I could definitely have done with fewer shirts, but it's been nice not to ever worry about running out and then trying to scramble and find out where to do laundry. Again, so I like to pack the clothes in the middle, and then that leaves the sides for miscellaneous things, including socks. I have, again, too many pairs of socks, but you can never really have too many pairs of socks. So we've got our filming tripod that we don't use too often. This is Aloha, similar to like the Joby Gorilla Grips. We don't use this very often, but it can come in handy for videos such as this one where it needs a tripod. I'm using a trash can. Let's see, we've got socks, and more socks. One comment on the socks though, I will say, pro tip, when you've used a pair of socks and they're dirty, I turn them inside out so I can easily know which ones have been worn and which haven't. But I also recommend bringing a pair of compression socks. Holly uses her compression socks on the airplane. It helps with circulation and stuff when we're in the air. Not a lot of people think about that, but I highly recommend it. I don't go anywhere without my compression socks. I've got more socks. And of course, even more socks. So again, too many pairs of socks. I think my personal favorite are Bombas. They have a bunch of different types. They just fit well, they feel good, they last a long time, and it's a good company. They don't need to pay for every pair you buy. So at the bottom of this section, we've got all my unmentionables. So these are all my pairs of underwear. You can never have too many of those. I think I have about probably 12 or so. And that worked, again, it's worked out really well. I have no complaints there. I think I packed the right amount of underwear. Inside, and so I actually put these between some of my shirts and underwears. These are our hard drives that we store all of our content on. I duplicate them because I don't ever want something to happen to a hard drive and then we lose all our content. So I have actually 4 of these guys running at any given time just because we fill them up so quickly. Moving on, so I actually started out this trip I had 2 3-packs of deodorant, plus the one I was using. I brought 7 sticks of deodorant for a 4-month trip. It was way too much. I am currently still on my 2nd stick of deodorant and just about to move to the 3rd. So brought too many, sent some more home with Holly's mom. Again, try to right size what you need to bring. These are also an essential. We've got lots. We have about 4. I have about 4 converters for Europe and different outlets and plugs. You can find all sorts of different types of these. Some of them are very universal and they'll work with any adapter. Holly has some really tiny ones. I'm sure she'll show you those in her video. But definitely don't forget to bring those because if you land somewhere, you're gonna have to get them. You won't be able to charge any of your devices. And if you're there late on your first day, you might have a dead phone in the morning. I've got some more charging cords. We've got this is a fun thing that we like to bring, a Roku. So it's really small. It's a lot smaller than like an Apple TV, and not every TV has cable or streaming, and we found this has been really easy to get us some entertainment wherever we are. Really all it is a remote, a tiny device, and a couple of cords to plug it in to the TV. So I recommend that. I've also got an edit drive, so we store everything on our hard drives, and then we edit off of a very fast SanDisk ultra fast drive. If you've been following along, you'll know that we have our dog Waffles with us on this trip. That requires bringing some extra gear that we wouldn't normally bring. And so in my suitcase, I have a shaver, a dog shaver. I actually do all of Waffles' haircuts myself. It's easier. Sometimes when we're abroad, it's hard to find a groomer. It saves us money. She doesn't mind when I do it, and I don't mind doing it. So I brought her shaver and her charger. I have a couple more adapters for computer stuff, some cords for hooking up the hard drives. And then these are some more unique things that sometimes people forget to bring. I recommend bringing earplugs. So in our first Airbnb in Nice, we had the cutest little Airbnb. It was awesome, everything was perfect until we went to bed. We learned that every single night at 2 in the morning, maybe 3 in the morning, if I'm being generous, the trash people would come and I think our window was the home of where the whole street would dump their trash and recycling for hours. It was just scooping up trash and dumping it in the truck, and oh my God, it was so loud. Plus the birds, plus you never know. So bring a pair of earplugs or 2. Those are highly valuable. I also bring, this is very old school and I haven't needed to use it, but I have a checkbook. It's sort of silly, but you never know when you might need to write a check, and so it doesn't take up a lot of space. I brought one just in case. If we're traveling on a cruise ship, I highly recommend bringing a cruise luggage tag holder. So you'll know when you board a cruise ship, they give you boarding passes with the scan tags to deliver your luggage to the room. These are great. They have a strong cord to attach to the top of your suitcase, and you can just slip your scannable luggage tag in there. We use them every time we cruise. And then finally, I have this in my suitcase. I probably don't need to, but we found that there are a couple of essential items that we want for the kitchen that we didn't bring with us. So we ended up buying a pack of sponges. You can never have too many sponges. Sometimes when you check into an Airbnb, they don't offer the proper cleaning supplies, so it can't hurt to have one of these. And we'd also recommend, this is something we learned along the way, to bring a set of cutlery. So just a plastic, a couple of spoons and a couple of forks. Probably not the knives if you're flying, but we've found in several situations we needed something to cut or use to eat with, and we didn't have them, so I recommend packing those as well. They're very small. And then finally, on the suitcase, Holly came up with this really cool idea. We have these luggage tags that have our name and our contact information. They're engraved in these tiny blocks, so it's actually not super easy to see what your name is when the luggage is on the carousel and stuff going by, but they're obvious enough to read your information if your luggage gets stolen or somebody finds it. Highly recommend that. That sticks on our luggage at all times as well. So that's it for the suitcase. I'm gonna clean this up, put this stuff away, and then we'll go through my carry-on. Be right back. Alright guys, back with part 2 of my packing video for long-term travel. So again, we are traveling for about 4 months around mostly Europe and Canada, and I'm sharing with you all the stuff that we decided was important to bring. So this is my carry-on backpack. It is a little bit big, I guess. It's not quite the size of a woman's purse, for example, or a briefcase, but it does the job. I've never been stopped at an airport for it being too big, and it's exactly the size I need for all the stuff that I want to carry. So I will start in the back. So this backpack is a High Sierra. It's fantastic. Like, the quality is very, very good. I actually got this as a gift from Aulani, the hotel in Hawaii, the Disney hotel. But it's got all the right pockets, all the right compartments. It's got great back support. It's got, this is an essential, the slip to put over your luggage handle so that you can roll it on top of your suitcase. Overall, it's a fantastic bag. I love it. It's really, really comfortable to wear. So, in the back compartment, they have a skinny slot for laptop computers, which is where I carry my laptop. I use the MacBook Pro M2. Does the job and really works well for editing as well. It's very fast. In the main compartment, again, there are lots of different side pockets and things and places to store stuff. I have a use case for all of them. So I actually travel with my bathroom bag. I've also got an iPad, which I use primarily for video, streaming stuff like Netflix and Disney Plus, mainly at night when we're laying in bed, or reading stuff on the iPad as well. Got a hat, that's an essential. Can't go anywhere without a hat, even though I don't wear one too much. I like to have it for sunny days. I've also got some folders with some current projects that I'm working on. I highly recommend bringing a copy of your passports. So this is just a photocopy. I have it on my backpack at all times. When we are flying, I absolutely need my over-the-ear headphones. These guys are getting a bit old. They are the Bose Quiet Comfort 30s, I think. You can tell, like, oh my god, like, you can see the foam in there. That's pretty gross, and it's just falling apart. But they work really well. They're absolutely, for me, essential to have when we're flying on a plane. And then moving on, this is actually a new purchase this trip. When we left for Europe, I intentionally decided not to bring our drone. We used to use the Mavic Air. It's gotten a little bit weak, and I've become a little bit more skittish while flying it, so I decided to leave it at home. And my gosh, we were just going to so many cool places. So while we were in Rome, but I finally got the DJI Pro 4 Mini. This is a fantastic drone. I highly recommend it. It's super versatile, pretty good price. It can hold up in all sorts of weather. It has every single feature. I sprung for the extra, the additional cost for the control pad. Guys, I tell you what, if you fly drones and you do not have this with the on-screen control remote, definitely get it. It's worth every penny. Way easier than busting out your phone, connecting it, trying to sync with the drone. It works so seamlessly. Very much worth the money. You've got a pack of the batteries. These guys just pop right into the drone. And like I said, the Mavic 4 Mini Pro is super light, super portable. I could put this in my pocket. Part of the reason I got it, I really love the portability and a nice little travel case. This guy actually fits in the day pack that I showed you earlier, which is nice, and it's not very heavy. So this guy goes with us everywhere now. I've never had any trouble at the airport. Nobody's ever stopped me because I have a drone. Then moving on to the middle pouch, I have my AARP card. Yes, I am an AARP member. Thank you to Holly. She figured out that we can actually do that even though we're not that old, and it gets us discounts. For example, our car rental that we have right now was on the AARP discount. And then below that, I generally carry my Kindle charger or the Sony camera charger. For the planes or for anywhere that might require them, still got some masks with us. I also have my computer laptop charger and cable. I've got my iPhone charger. I use an iPhone 13 Pro Max. Moving on to the front pouch, the very front pouch. Again, a lot more charging cords. So I have several of the USB-C to iPhone cords. We use those for the iPad. We use them for the AirPod Pros. We use them for our iPhones. I also carry a plethora of pens. And then primarily, that's it for this pouch, with the exception of my Kindle. This is my absolute favorite purchase, under $150 in the last probably 5 years. I read this guy every single day. It is the best for traveling because I read so many different books simultaneously. And how cool is it that they all fit on this skinny little dude that lasts for over a month, even reading like an hour a day. I almost never have to charge it. So it's fantastic. On the side, we've got a couple of side pouches. So in the outermost little, what do you call that? Like a nylon pouch. We carry some dog poop bags because Waffles goes wherever she wants. And I want to make sure I'm prepared. I also have some essentials. So hand sanitizer. Man, when you're traveling on subways, sometimes you feel so gross. You just need that. Pack tissues. I have an extra cheapo pair of sunglasses because I don't want to lose my Ray-Bans that I bought for Christmas, my first really nice pair of sunglasses. So I bought these guys for $10 and they work just as well, but I'm not too afraid to break them or lose them. Got a couple packs of lip chap, and then as one does, I just accumulate all the coins from the different countries we go to, so primarily euros this trip. And they just, whenever I have extra, they just go in that pouch. And then on this side, got my nice glasses, and that's about it. So that's my carry-on bag. It carries a lot of stuff, but it does the job, and it's not actually too heavy. All right, so I was just checking my list here that I write down all the things I want to bring. That's really it. So the silverware would have been nice to have, and glasses repair kit, 2 very small items. Also, pro tip, so Holly and I use a Google Sheets shared document, and we have a list of all the different items that we pack for each trip. It makes it really easy that we don't have to go back and try to remember what to pack and what to bring each time we travel. And we have an excess of stuff. So we have things for cold locations, we have things for warm locations, we have things for specific locations like her parents' house or New England or whatever. It makes it so much easier, and then you can leave the house with peace of mind. So I highly recommend that. Very easy to use. As far as things that we brought that we probably shouldn't have or didn't necessarily need, I think I touched on that I probably didn't need to bring as many t-shirts as I brought, but hey, it's worked out well and I have the room for it. I do not recommend filling your suitcase just because you have the room, but it's worked out so far. I also brought an extra pair of khaki pants that I probably didn't need to bring. I haven't worn them yet. I don't think I've worn my button-down shirt yet, but still nice to have in case we do something nice. And actually, when we started out on this trip, I had initially brought my Nintendo Switch. I was thinking, wow, we're going to have all this time, and I'm going to want to play a new game or something. I never played at home. I don't know why I thought I'd play on the road. I sent that back with Holly's mom as well. So I think that's about it for what we brought on this trip. While we're in Europe and while we're traveling around, we've done a mixture of transportation methods. So we've been on trains, we've been on boats, we've been on airplanes. Really, we've minimized the airplanes because we have the dog. We've also had a rental car. It's really nice when we have a rental car because we can spread stuff out and not be as compact in packing, but keep in mind that eventually that will go away. So we need to downsize and be able to fit everything in just the 2 bags that we have. One thing that we have been doing is going to a lot of grocery stores here, so we have a couple of tote bags that we've bought along the way. I think that pretty much does it for this packing video. If you found this helpful and enjoyable, please let me know below. If there's anything I could have done better or anything I missed out on, please let me know that as well. Always trying to improve. Or if you have any pro tips, please share them with everybody below. This is a big, helpful forum. We're just trying to help everybody out. And if you're not already, hit that subscribe button. We've got lots more cool videos coming, tons more travel videos. We're just really getting started. We've got a lot more fun stuff to see. Again, I'm Andrew. Holly's going to do a packing video as well, so you can tell us how those are different. Who did it better? I think it's me, but we'll see. Anyway, we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Yoo-hoo. All right, I think I got the setup I want. Shots framed. I'm ready to rock and roll.